Welcome, movie buffs. Today I'm going to recap a crime thriller, Bound, featuring Corky, a resilient ex-convict, and her partner Violet, as they orchestrate a plan to steal millions from the mob and frame Violet's deceitful boyfriend, Caesar. Trust me, you don't want to miss this one. The film opens with Corky, bound by ropes, reminiscing about her past as a painter and plumber renovating an apartment. Plumbers, unlike doctors, focus on prevention. One day, she encounters Violet and Caesar in the elevator. Corky notices Violet's legs as she exits. Back in her own apartment, Corky chats with Bianchi on the phone before hearing suggestive noises from Violet's unit. While cleaning a bathtub, the doorbell interrupts her and she finds Violet outside. They exchange greetings and Violet invites Corky for coffee. Inside, Violet admires Corky's painting and plumbing skills. After some time, Violet leaves for her own apartment. Later that night, Corky visits a club where she meets Jessie and offers her company. Returning home, Corky struggles to sleep. The next day, amidst her work, Bianchi calls Corky to request plumbing assistance at Violet's place. There, Violet explains her earring is stuck in a drain. Corky retrieves it and is thanked by Violet, who then tries to seduce her, revealing a tattoo. They share a kiss before Caesar unexpectedly arrives, prompting a swift separation. Caesar is surprised to see Corky, but is introduced by Violet, who welcomes her warmly. He compensates Corky, who accepts gratefully before returning to her own apartment to continue working. At night, as Corky prepares to leave for work in her truck, Violet arrives and seduces her, leading them to spend a passionate night together. Violet confides in Corky, revealing that Caesar is involved in money laundering and they've been together for 5 years. The following day, Shelley visits Violet and they engage intimately in her apartment, their voices audible to Corky, who feels uncomfortable with their actions. During another intimate encounter between Violet and Corky, Corky expresses her displeasure at Violet's involvement with other men. Violet explains that it's her profession as a prostitute, causing Corky to become angry and leave abruptly, slamming the door behind her. The next day, Corky witnesses Mafia associates arriving with Shelley to see Caesar at his apartment. She observes as Shelley is brutally beaten by Johnny for embezzling $2 million. Caesar intervenes, providing a towel to Johnny and attempting to calm the situation. He then converses with Violet, who expresses her desire to leave due to the Mafia's presence, but Caesar convinces her to stay. Caesar expresses his distrust of Johnny to Mickey, who remains silent and urges Violet to leave the apartment for a walk. Despite Caesar's wishes for her to stay, Violet ultimately complies with Mickey's advice, fearing prolonged torture for Shelley to divulge the embezzled money's location. Caesar arrives with a sharp clipper and ruthlessly severs one of Shelley's fingers, causing Corky to hear his screams from her apartment, deeply upsetting her. She ventures out and finds Violet, and they retreat to a bar where Violet discloses Shelley's failed attempt at embezzlement. Expressing a desire for a fresh start, Violet implores Corky to assist her, offering the possibility of acquiring $2 million. However, Corky declines. Returning to her apartment, Violet is shocked to find Caesar covered in blood, having gruesomely dealt with Shelley and retrieved the stolen money. Caesar meticulously cleans and irons the blood-stained cash. Corky and Violet devise a plan to steal the money from Caesar's office. Violet explains Caesar's disdain for Johnny Gino's son, a known psychopath. Gino is scheduled to collect the money that evening. Seizing the opportunity, Corky suggests distracting Caesar while she pilfers the cash. When Violet clumsily drops a bottle of scotch, inciting Caesar's ire, Corky intervenes and suggests buying a replacement. As Corky executes the theft, she later returns feigning concern about Johnny's presence downstairs. Caesar panics, discovering the money missing from its case, believing Johnny to be the culprit. Distraught at the loss, he refuses to flee despite Violet's urging. Desperate, Violet contacts Corky, who advises her to pack her belongings if Caesar remains obstinate about escaping. Caesar informs Violet of his intention to retrieve money from Johnny at the airport, presuming he's there to greet Gino. However, Violet, adamant about leaving, begins packing her bags despite Caesar's pleas for her to stay. When Caesar brandishes his gun to prevent her departure, Violet, feeling trapped, reluctantly complies. Suspecting Violet's involvement in the theft with Johnny, Caesar confronts her, resulting in a heated exchange where Violet strikes him in frustration. Shortly after, Gino and his men arrive, warmly welcomed by Violet while Johnny attempts to approach her. Caesar offers drinks as Corky anxiously awaits Violet's return with the stolen money. As tensions rise, Gino requests the money, prompting Caesar to present the briefcase. However, upon inspection, only papers are found inside, enraging Johnny, who accuses Caesar of deception. Caesar, pointing his gun, accuses Johnny of stealing the money, escalating the situation. In a fit of panic, Caesar shoots Gino and Johnny along with their men. With the arrival of the police, Caesar swiftly conceals the bodies in the washroom, frantically cleaning the crime scene. Upon questioning, Caesar deflects suspicion, attributing the commotion to the television's volume, persuading the officers to leave without further inquiry. After the police departure, Caesar and Violet venture out in search of the stolen money, assuming it might be in Johnny's car. However, their efforts prove futile, leaving Caesar frustrated. Meanwhile, Corky trails them, armed with a gun, contemplating the significance of money in life. Convinced the money might be at Johnny's place, Caesar instructs Violet to drive there urgently. Upon arrival, Caesar fervently searches every corner of Johnny's apartment to no avail. Overwhelmed and exhausted, Caesar breaks down in tears, with Violet trying to comfort him. In a desperate attempt, Caesar contacts Mickey, expressing concern over Gino and his men's absence. Returning home defeated, Violet urges Caesar to flee, but he insists on disposing of the bodies first. Violet informs Corky of the situation. Suddenly, Caesar confronts Violet, realizing her involvement in the theft. Pointing his gun at her, he demands the truth and suspects her of contacting Mickey. Attempting to confirm his suspicions, Caesar dials the number, and Corky, realizing Violet's danger, remains silent. Witnessing Violet's torture, Corky intervenes, revealing their joint involvement in stealing the money. Upon discovering Violet and Corky's betrayal, Caesar binds and gags them, threatening their lives unless they reveal the stolen money's whereabouts. Mickey arrives, prompting Caesar to strike a deal with Violet to stall for time. As Mickey prepares to execute Violet, a timely phone call interrupts, purportedly from Gino's hospital bed after a car accident. Diverting Mickey's attention, Violet convinces Caesar to pretend to speak with Gino, persuading Mickey to leave for the hospital. Meanwhile, Corky discloses the money's location to Mickey, who heads next door to retrieve it. Seizing an opportunity, Violet escapes, informing Mickey that Caesar stole the money and instructed her to remain silent. As Caesar prepares to kill Corky, Violet intervenes, brandishing a gun and urging Caesar to flee before Mickey arrives. Despite Caesar's doubt that she would shoot him, Violet proves otherwise, fatally shooting him in defense. Mickey, believing Violet's account, assures her he'll handle Caesar's pursuit and proposes a relationship, but Violet opts for a fresh start. Together with Corky, Violet departs, leaving behind the tumultuous events. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. We appreciate your support. See you in the next video.